What's going on? It's Juan Gotti here with another video, and in today's video I'm coming on here with another Washington Commanders video. We're coming on here to talk about defensive tackle Phidarian Mathis and his season-ending injury and what could some of his replacements be, whether it's veterans or someone on the practice squad. So without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. But before we do, make sure you go down below, leave a like on this video, subscribe if you're new, and turn on post notifications so you get notified when I upload a video about the NFL, or in this case our Washington Commanders. We're on the road to 5,000 subscribers, so that subscribe button again if you haven't already. And tonight, join me as I will be going live recapping the Jacksonville Jaguars game, putting the final bow on that one with my man Pedro Schmidt, and we will be moving forward to the Detroit Lions Week 2 matchup. So without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. So as we know, we're still riding high off of the winning game, versus the Jacksonville Jaguars in the inaugural Commanders game, Week 1. It was lit. Your boy was there. My voice still trying to work its way back from screaming like crazy, but it was all worth it because we got a win. But in that win, we got an unfortunate injury to our second-round pick, defensive tackle Phidarian Mathis, as he tore his meniscus and will be needing surgery, having season-ending surgery. And that's very, very unfortunate because not only did we spend a high overall pick on this guy, this is a young guy just getting into the league, man, and he wants to play. He wants to actually, go out there and play for his team. And he was really solid when he was in before he got hurt. And now he is not going to be able to be out there for us. So that's a big blow, man. And now we have a hole at defensive tackle. Defensive tackle was already a position that was really, really weak in the depth area after letting go of Matt Ioannidis and Tim Settle. That's the reason why we drafted Phidarian Mathis. But now with him being out, we really don't have anybody. I mean, Daniel Wise is another guy that they could probably want to stay in house for. Maybe David Bada is what you're looking at. And we just, signed Donovan Jeter. But those are not names that ring a bell as far as like somebody that's going to go out there and be an impact. I mean, Daniel Wise is okay, but you probably could do better. You have some veterans on the market, and we're going to take a look at an article written by Fanside, who I love because I think they do a wonderful job when it comes to their articles. We're going to take a couple look at some of the veterans that are out there, but I definitely think Ron is going to probably go with the trend of letting the young guys play. Ron Rivera said this when he came into Washington a couple years ago, is that he made a mistake in Carolina with holding on to veterans too long when he should have just let them go and moved on to young guys. And he's doing the total opposite here. He's hanging on to the young guys and not really signing much veterans. So I think Ron may actually, call up a young guy or sign a young guy. But if he does decide to bring in a veteran, I have a couple names for you according to Fanside. So let's see what their article is talking about here. So starting it off, they said the Washington Commanders opened up their 2022 season with a win over the Jacksonville Jaguars. While the celebrations are still in full swing, and rightfully so, the injury to rookie Phidarian Mathis really put a damper on a great day. Mathis got his knee rolled up on, and his reaction punching the ground, wiping tears from his eyes, and his teammates taking a knee before he was carted off. Had fans fearing the worst-case scenario for the second-round pick defensive lineman. Those fears were confirmed Monday as NFL media and Ian Rappaport reported that Mathis suffered a torn meniscus that requires season-ending surgery. Just like that, Mathis' rookie year is over, and the Commanders, already short on the interior defenders, suddenly have a big hole to fill. Ron Rivera reveals Monday, before the heartbreaking news was disclosed, that the team is looking for a D-tackle help. Odds and the Commanders looking for younger players to fill the void, but there are 3 veterans available and an open market who serves as a great backup to starters Jonathan Allen and Deron Payne, who shined against the Jaguars. Now, before we get to the 3 D tackles, this injury really may not force us in a way, but actually, make us want to re-sign Deron Payne. Like, we talked about the Washington Commanders, possibly not re-signing Deron Payne just because Phidarian Mathis was going to be his replacement. But now with Phidarian Mathis being out, and let's say Deron Payne has a great season, you cannot sign him. You can let him walk, but how smart would that be if you have Phidarian Mathis coming off a torn meniscus next season, and then you let go of Deron Payne? Now you don't know how Phidarian Mathis is going to be, and now you're just stuck with Jonathan Allen. So I think this makes Washington clear to resign Deron Payne. I could be wrong. But again, he's already had a really strong game, and the defensive tackle position is weak now. So do you resign Deron Payne and be cool with your two starters for the future, or do you let Deron Payne walk this offseason and hopefully and put your hope on Phidarian Mathis coming back to 100% and then taking over the reins? Me personally, although I really didn't mind, it didn't mind me if Deron Payne walked at the time or we resigned, it was up to them. Me right now, I think I would lean more towards re-signing Deron Payne because, again, you don't know what Phidarian Mathis is going to be like next season, and at this current juncture, we don't have anything else. This probably may force us to draft another D-tackle in next year's draft in the later rounds, so we'll stay tuned for that. It's a ways away from that, but I just want to throw that out there that Deron Payne may actually get re-signed, not just because of how good he is on the field, but out of necessity because of Phidarian Mathis being hurt. You don't even know how he's going to be coming off that torn meniscus next year. And Deron Payne, he's, again, already having a really strong start to his contract year. So let's get into some of these three players that Fanside has put out there that Washington should be interested in signing. Number one is Linval Joseph. Let's see what they have to say about Linval Joseph. I remember him well for his time in, I want to say, Minnesota and in L.A. With the Chargers. But it says it's pretty stunning. Joseph is still available as he was underrated but vital component of the Chargers defensive line in 2020 and 2021 last year. The 33-year-old posted an 83.0 pass rush grade from Pro Football Focus in his part-time role. Getting up there in age, Joseph isn't impactful against the run as he was doing in his prime with the Vikings, with who he has to two-time Pro Bowlers with, or he's a two-time Pro Bowler with. He isn't a like for a like replacement with Mathis, which makes him joining Washington unlikely. But the team won't find a better option on the open market, or could they? The next player on their list, but before we get into that, and you'll hear why, and we already talked about it pretty much in the earlier parts of it. I don't think Ron Rivera wants a 33-year-old Linval Joseph. You know what I'm saying? I think he would much want a younger guy. And there aren't really young veteran D tackles, so this is what makes me feel like he's going to just stay in-house with filling the depth there at D tackle. But I personally just don't know if he wants to take the veteran route. Now, you may have no choice and have to take the veteran route if you want a guy that's going to be in there and actually be competitive. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't know what you're going to get out of David Bada. You know a little bit of what you're going to get out of Daniel Wise if he has to play, but how comfortable are you with Daniel Wise now having to fill up that backup role? And if anything happens to any of our starting D tackles, Deron Payne, Jonathan Allen's already dealing with a growing injury too. How comfortable are you with Daniel Wise playing a significant role in this defensive line? Me personally, I don't know how to feel right now. You know what I'm saying? Daniel Wise, I seen him play in the preseason, and I see him play in the preseason every year, and he looks okay, but he doesn't look like something that's going to be, a real impact for now. 16 more games, so we'll have to see. And Ron Rivera might actually have to just bite the bullet and go with an aging veteran like a Linval Joseph to just come in for the rest of this year and actually have a competitive defensive tackle depth. Now, moving on to the next person, we have Ndamukong Suh, and this has been the most popular name that I've been hearing amongst Washington fans. It says Suh might not be available for much longer as he's recently started his desire to become Nebraska's, it says he's become Nebraska's alma mater head coach after the program fired Scott Frost. In all seriousness, though, Suh's imposing presence is just what Washington needs to get by without Mathis. Suh has started all 191 games in his career, but his snap share decreased in each of the last 3 seasons. 77% in 2019 of snaps, 74% in 2020, and 67% in 2021. We all know the Commanders like to rotate their defensive lineman. Jonathan Allen, the team's most important defender, played just 70% of their snaps last season, so there should be plenty of snaps to go around if Suh was to join the rotation. Now 35 years old, Suh has aged like fine wine. In 2021, he racked up 6 sacks, 7 tackles for loss, 13 QB hits, 37 pressures, and 24 hurries. This isn't the first time we floated with Star Lotulelei as a star potential, also being a guy that they could possibly be into. So that's let's go in a little bit into the next player that we're going to talk about here, which is Lotulelei. But let's back it up to Ndamukong Suh. Ndamukong Suh, I would like Ndamukong Suh. I'm not going to lie to you. I know he's a little bit of a dirty player, but he's going to play hard. And just last year, he had 6 QB sacks and 24 QB hurries. So he can come in here and provide that veteran presence and actually just not really have that much of a drop-off if one of our guys need a blow. But again, I just can't wrap my head around Ron wanting a veteran at this current moment, but we'll see. Desperate times calls for desperate measures, so we'll see what he decides to do. But again, out of all 3 of these guys, I would not mind Ndamukong Suh the most. I would want Ndamukong Suh the most, I should say. But the guy that I think they're going to actually go with, if they do go with a veteran, it's going to be Lotulelei, and this is going to be why, as fans side is going to talk about it. Lotulelei says, this isn't the first time we've floated with Lotulelei as a potential depth signing for the Commanders, and it probably won't be the last. The reason for that, he's a former first-round pick of Ron Rivera, and the Carolina Panthers had 5 years of experience under Washington's head coach. It's well documented that Rivera loves signing former players, and Lotulelei checks all those boxes as a rotational piece behind Ain and Allen and Payne. Lotulelei played in the last 3 seasons in Buffalo, but the Bills moved on after they reconstructed their defensive line, which includes signing former Commanders Tim Settle, and he's still searching for a new home with Week 1 in the books. In 3 years with the AFC juggernaut, Lotulelei logged up 53 tackles, 8 tackles for loss, 5 sacks, and 27.2 run stop win rate. The Commanders can do a lot worse, like promoting an experienced practice squad stash player, then signing Lotulelei to fill Mathis' run stuffing role in the trenches. So that's what Fanside has to say. Those are 3 impactful veterans that Washington could possibly be interested in signing to replace Phidarian Mathis for the year. Now, as far as Lotulelei, I think that may be the most, the realistic one, just because of the history he has with Rivera, and he's not that bad either. We just need someone that's going to come in here and be competent behind Allen and Payne. We really don't need no one to come in here and just be the star of the show. We just need depth, so we don't have to go to Devontae Jeter or Daniel Wise or David Bottle. We just want to be able to go from someone that already has experience and was at one point in time good in this league, and then back to our starters. So, yeah, man, there you have it. Those are 3 players that I think Washington could possibly sign, or they may stay in-house, but we'll stay tuned to see what they have to do. But, yeah, man, this is me and boy Juan Gotti. Like, comment, subscribe. Those are the Washington Commanders. We're on the road to 5,000 subscribers. Hit that subscribe button again if you haven't already. I'm out. Peace. Cost me one time, that's gonna get you pop, get you drop, slide on the one where they get you blocked.